But for example, I'm sitting here, someone is walking in the door. When from far away the person is coming, then I see already, okay, tall, short, good figure, or obese, and already my mind is putting it in a category and has some kind of relation to it. And it has to do with how I see the world and how I judge. When I have myself blonde hair, then I might be more attracted when the person is blonde, and anyway, it has to do with what I have lived. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's without me even thinking very clearly, there's a picture of the person. Then she steps in, and the picture gets even clearer. I see how she's dressed, and I have an idea about her taste of dress, of clothing, and so another category. Then the person comes and talks to me and asks the question. The way the voice sounds, the kind of question she's asking, already another category. And all of this happens so fast, I might not even be aware of it. And the person is here, I have not even spoken a word to her, and I already have put her in a category. And this is what the Buddhists already call emotion. It's not once I am totally in love with that person, or once I can't stand it. This is much later. So we are talking already about these subtle movements in the mind. And very often, especially when we are kind of in the practice and get habituated, there's a laziness where we think, oh, these things, they are not so important. I'm a good person, I'm not angry, and when I have a little rejection thought, it doesn't really matter. But the Buddha says it does matter. Whatever happens in our mind leaves traces, and many subtle traces have a big imprint, like drops of water in a stone. In the end, you have a hole. And we will come back to that later, but the idea is to, first of all, just have a look at what all is going on in the mind, and not have this attitude of, it doesn't really matter, it's too small to care about, but develop a curiosity about it, and also through meditation practice, develop a clarity about what is really going on in my mind. So these were the three poisons that are just very roughly describing the mind. Then of course emotions are much more complex than that. Then you have all kinds of mixtures. In the diagram that I showed up there, later on we will come back to that more. You see, you don't only have in the middle ignorance and desire and anger. These were the three I talked about now. But you have also pride and jealousy. The Tibetans put these as the main colors we are made of. Pride is a sense of me, myself, and my experience being predominant over others, more important. A sense of I'm better in one way or the other than anyone else. And jealousy is a way of being in a constant relationship of competition with others by just looking and comparing myself all the time and being anxious that I would not be on top but below. Yeah? So these are what is called 5 basic emotions that the Tibetans deal with in their practice in many different ways. And so now, what to do with it? The first thing, as I already said, is to develop a kind of curiosity, to not be afraid of what we discover in our minds. When we want to deal with emotions, we already have a sense that something is not going the way I want it. I have emotions that are very pleasant, at least for a time. When I fall in love, it feels very good. And then we don't know really how, but the pleasant thing turns and it is not so pleasant anymore, and we don't know really how to save it, and we would like everything to go on in a rosy way, and it doesn't work that way. The Tibetans have a picture for that, where they say, you know, in Tibet they have lots of yak, these big cows, and a yak is very strong, but has one soft spot, and that is the nose. So if you put a ring here and a cord, then you can pretty much lead a yak wherever you want. I was told that, no, I didn't. Anyway, the Tibetan way of saying, be not pulled like a yak by your emotions, wherever the emotions want, but be a master yourself of your mind and of the emotions. The picture is, take the cord and put it on your head. So no one has it, only you. And this is what we want to aim at. Become a master of our emotions instead of a slave. So then there are 3 steps in dealing with emotions. You could put these steps, if you like structures, overviews, you could put these approaches into the category Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So these are technical terms. If you don't like technical terms, just ignore them. For those who have read already about Buddhism, then you might have heard these terms. Hinayana is an approach that is very much focused on discipline and renunciation and just getting pure and sober in your mind, and that is the basis of all Buddhism. I will come back to what that means in this context. Mahayana is called literally the great vehicle, where it says renunciation, wanting to be pure myself, not wanting to put out chaos, but be disciplined and pure and ethical myself, is not enough. Because it's not only me on this world, there are so many beings and I'm connected with everyone. And so if I want to be happy, and remember that was the basic message of the Buddha, how to become happy, I have to include everyone, at least in my mind, even though I don't know all beings in this lifetime. Mahayana Buddhists say, I have been connected with everyone over all these lifetimes that I exist, and I have to open up my mind and include them all in my being. And so this kind of Buddhism focuses very much on loving kindness and compassion, the training of loving kindness and compassion. And we will see what that means in the context of dealing with the emotions. And the Vajrayana is part of the Mahayana, so it has the same kind of attitude, but says we don't have time to waste, so let's do it in a very condensed way. And they developed very specific methods where you have to follow a very specific discipline, and in the protected context, then you can deal with your energies and your emotions in a very direct way. That can also be very dangerous. But so if you took care of taking precautions, then it is a very effective way. So these are just as an insert to explain to you Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So in the context of dealing with the emotions, what does it mean? The first way, the Hinayana way of dealing with the emotions, is first of all to develop a clarity, a mindfulness, and see what is an emotion and what does it in your mind, and see how emotion in the end leads to suffering. However nice it starts, the nicest feelings we know is desire, attachment. It feels it's so nice to have something new that enhances, enriches our life, and then we want to grab onto it, and unfortunately it changes, or even if it doesn't change, we change our attitude towards it, and somehow it slips away and turns into something unpleasant. What is unpleasant is this attachment of wanting to grab something which is impermanent. So in any case, watching what happens in our mind and finding how never ever anything is coming to a satisfactory end. Temporarily it might, but not ultimately.